Right, Boston College losing players like Taylor Soule and Cameron Swartz, both of them all conference performers who moved on elsewhere in the ACC. Swartz at Georgia Tech, Soule at Virginia Tech. And it is a Play for K game here in Chapel Hill. So North Carolina with their uniforms trimmed in pink. Boston College going with the all pink. North Carolina with 3 players making their first career starts in Kayla McPherson and Key. Deja Kelly. This is the concentration. Coach Mack doesn't want her to get a lot of shots. Took the first one and missed it. The Boston College lineup, a couple of freshmen in there. Kayla McPherson, number 20, is their very talented freshman point guard that Coach Mack says is an extension of herself on the floor. And as a former point guard, you know that is very important.
Yeah, it's really important. Understanding what it is that Coach Mack wants out of this offense, how to push the tempo, decision-making.
And that's a good first defensive sequence for North Carolina.
Think about this Carolina team. You lost 3 starters, so a lack of depth. So being able to defend without fouling, making sure that you're solid in your rotations. They're going to have to mix things up probably more often that Coach Banghart is comfortable with between man and zone to conserve and to stay out of foul trouble.
That's right. Very short bench for Boston College, dealing with not having Dontavia Wagner, their leading scorer and rebounder, who is out. Stress reaction in her leg. And they are hopeful to get her back. That shot is nailed by JoJo Lacey.
That's what JoJo Lacey does. She stretches the floor. She's a secondary ball handler for this ball club, but they need her to be a shot maker consistently.
Over half of the shots she's taken have been from 3, and there's a good answer. Kennedy Todd-Williams, who started every game the last couple of years.
And Kennedy Todd-Williams is a player who has been a tremendous slasher in her career, has really worked on that 3-point shot, consistently knocking it down now.
That's exactly what they wanted. Gokdeng getting a shot. The follow by VanTimmeren, who was fouled.
Well, Boston College really working offensively this week in practice, want to push in transition, be shot makers on the offensive end, and again, great ball movement by the heels. Kennedy Todd-Williams knocking down the 3.
And then Todd-Williams called for the foul on the other end that sends VanTimmeren to the line.
And that's going to be a challenge, a discipline challenge. Kennedy Todd-Williams and Deja Kelly have to stay on the floor for the heels. So defensively, you can't take chances like that. And there's an offensive rebound, got to be smart right there. It's very, very important for these two to stay on the floor.
VanTimmeren, who is only a 61% free throw shooter on the season, missed them both. Good play by Gokdeng to knock it out of bounds. And when we talked to Courtney Banghart, the Tar Heels mentioned about how big of a presence Gokdeng was when these two teams played last year. It was a close game. North Carolina only won by 3.
Carolina was down. They had to come back
down
in that
big.
ball game. They were down big.
Down 15, in fact, in the 4th quarter. And another whistle. Our officials, Edward Sidlaski to Lisa Green and Whitney Armstrong. Mayer called for her first foul.
And another player that can't afford to get in foul trouble. Really the only point guard on this Boston College ball club. Taina Mayer needs to stay on the floor.
Taina Mayer, a kid from Dorchester in Boston, Massachusetts, and also Deanna Todd, another freshman who starts, number 30 for Boston College. No seniors, no grad transfers on this team at all. So everyone will come back, can come back next year for BC. Left open VanTimmeren, that's a good find by Lacey.
You mentioned the no seniors, no grad transfers. Didn't bring a single transfer in with a young group. But, Coach Mack talks about, I really like this group. We're young, we're inexperienced, but we're learning and growing and have a chance to be really good.
She's very optimistic about the future of this team. Carolina has to do a good job to get back in transition. They do. Gokdeng bottled up, pardon me, and took steps.
Ball movement has been really good for the Eagles early. Just a 1 or 2 dribble, getting lost on the backside, and that's where you see some of the inexperience defensively. And this is a Carolina team with Usby and Hodgson and Poole that's very experienced playing together. Now you've got some new pieces on the floor as McPherson knocks down a pull-up. So communication defensively, making sure there's clarity in your coverages is going to be important.
Kayla McPherson missed the first 20 games with an injury, has really come on, now playing her 5th game of the season. Had that last bucket. Outside shot, good box out by Zelaya, making her first career start. And now puts up the 3, nothing doing. Rebound taken down by Andrea Daley, sophomore from Miami. That shot missed outside by Lacey, who is their best 3-point shooter. And now left open for 3 on the other end, and fouled. A chance for a 4-point play for McPherson.
I'm loving this pace, Pam. Both of these teams want to push the ball in transition. Kayla McPherson, she is fearless. Like, this is a player who, coming out of high school, was a highly touted, explosive offensive threat, had been saddled with injuries, has come in the last 3 weeks on the floor, and you can see the instant lift that she gives this team.
McDonald's All-American back in 2021. Hurt her knee in high school and redshirted all of last year in what should have been her true freshman season. But yeah, just a lot of talent as she is working her way into the lineup.
She's an explosive, flashy, fun player to watch. And I asked Coach Banghart if she has found her rhythm, her timing, because she has missed a lot of basketball, and she said absolutely she has. She's got experience. She's a natural, gifted leader. She's a fun player to watch.
All VanTimmeren called for the offensive foul for BC. Courtney Banghart in her 4th year for North Carolina. Took them to a Sweet 16 last year for the first time since 2015, where they lost to South Carolina. No shame there. And Deja Kelly, a little bit too strong. Rebound taken down by Daley. Carolina very cognizant of having to get back and stop their transition. Another turnover, and there she is, McPherson in the open court, and if she gets open like that, it's over.
It sure is. Quick hands on defense. Does a great job of getting a deflection that leads to a steal.
Carolina now up 10-5. It's a 7-0 run. Lockdang not looking to score. Good catch just to keep it in bounds momentarily, but the result was a turnover anyway.
Carolina getting after it on the defensive end of the floor. Great job getting a hand in the lane by McPherson. Out in front.
Will just open up last month. Very nice for Courtney Banghart's team. I had a chance to go to the visitors' locker room when Duke was here last month.
Not as nice?
Not as nice.
I don't know,
No.
but they got some nice kicks in there.
I bet they got lots of good stuff here.
I bet so.
The Jordan brand. There's Courtney Banghart getting things going with her team. Both teams missing their best players. Usby, Poole, Hodgson, 3 starters all out. And between them, they averaged 29 points per game. That ball stuck. And a big smile on the face of Kennedy Todd-Williams.
Andrea Daley just jumped up there and got that ball down like it was nothing.
It's good because I saw you were about to go out and do it, so that's
Well, I was.
Andrea to
I thought
get
I
that
would
for you.
let the younger.
Let the kids have their day. Kayla McPherson, by the way, outscoring Boston College all by herself, 7-5. Lockdown. Good defense to collapse in on her by Destiny Adams. Deja Kelly getting some good looks, but can't get anything to fall. And Kelly coming off a career high, 32 points at Syracuse. She hit 4 threes. Carolina led at the half of that game. Another shot off the mark. And here comes Todd-Williams, known as Toddy, to her teammates and head coach. McPherson, boy, what a difference she's making.
I mean, she is instant offense, instant energy. Now, certainly, Courtney Banghart wanted a different change of pace offensively and defensively starting this ball game, and McPherson gives them that.
So Boston College has been stuck on 5 points for about 4 minutes.
If you watch Alexandra Zelaya, she's doing a really good job of keeping Maria Gokdeng off the block. She's pushing her out in an uncomfortable position to catch the ball.
And that was what they wanted to do. McPherson has it kicked out of bounds. So it stays with BC.
You can just see the confidence in McPherson. Hand is down. Hand down, man down. Right away. I mean, she's got a bounce, right? She's got a different bounce about her. The energy, the excitement. When you're a player who loves to play the game and you've had to sit out for so long, every opportunity you have on the floor, you relish it.
Well, she was calling for the ball. Missed it. The ball goes back over to Boston College. McPherson from Hull, Georgia. Both of her parents played basketball at Western Kentucky. And yeah, Coach Banghart couldn't say enough good things about her. So that she just, especially for being such a young player, will watch film and will make an adjustment from that.
And to be a natural vocal leader. A lot of young players aren't naturally vocal leaders. And you could see even a year ago her on the bench talking to her teammates. Hadn't played a game here.
Kelly's first points. And you gotta like that, right? I mean, somebody being engaged, especially a true freshman at that time.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Being engaged on the bench, communicating with her team. She's a high IQ player, so she understood the offense at that time, even if she wasn't on the floor.
And right now, Coach Mack is not getting what she wanted. Todd just took another jumper. She wanted to play inside out. Doesn't look happy. Coming up next, we'll take you to Blacksburg. This is a good one. Virginia Tech hosting Florida State. And then our triple header capped off by Syracuse, who just beat Carolina, and Notre Dame trying to bounce back themselves. All here on the ACC Network. Great stuff to watch before. I think there's a football game later today that people might watch.
There may be, yeah.
But just keep it on the ACC Network in the meantime.
For sure.
You don't need to see a 6-hour pregame show.
Well, Florida State looking to bounce back too. That loss to Miami, and a game in which Tanai Latson didn't go to the foul line. One of the premier free throw shooters in the country.
I think she'd be National Freshman of the Year. Boston College has gone over 5 minutes without a point, Steph.
Well, they have this tendency to struggle and get a little stagnant offensively, which is why Coach Mack wants to play in transition. If you put so much pressure on your offense, if you have to score every possession in the half court.
And they're coming off that loss to Duke. Again, they only scored 27 points and did not score more than 9 points in any quarter. Foul on Gokdeng. Destiny Adams, sophomore from New Jersey, has scored a double figures 4 times this year, getting some more playing time again. With the starters out, as you mentioned, that is a very good opportunity for players to pick up their minutes, get some good experience.
It is. Now, typically, if you're a head coach, you want that to happen in, like, December.
Yes, in your non-conference.
You know, and certainly, this is the situation that they have, right? It's the hand that they're dealt. So learning how to build depth through experience is key.
Another one and done on that trip. Adams comes down with the rebound. And that was telegraphed. Good hustle by JoJo Lacey. Knocks over a couple of beverages, but fortunately they had their caps on.
Yes, fortunately.
Yes.
Remember back in the old days, we had to have the cups on the sideline.
Yeah.
Those would have been everywhere,
no,
right?
That's why cups should be illegal. Deja Kelly took steps. Did a good job by not going in the backcourt. Bumped just a little bit. That's the 3rd turnover. For North Carolina, Boston College forces more turnovers than any other team in the ACC, which gets that transition going, typically. Another shot from the outside, and it falls in. The drought finally is over. Daley knocks it down. scoring up more than 8 points per game from last season. And there are a lot more people playing in front of her. Johnny Key posting up hard. They can't get her the ball, and it goes back over to the Eagles.
That's a prime example of just the lack of continuity right now for Carolina when you're missing those 3 starters and a core group of junior class who's played together now for the 3rd year, because Destiny Adams is cutting on top of the Deja Kelly drive. Now that's a part of the game where you start to learn the tendencies of one another, and Alyssa Usby probably would have held that cut.
Yeah. Alyssa Usby, Hodgson, Poole all out. Good job again by Adams. But Alyssa Usby, when we talked to Coach Mack for BC, the first thing out of her mouth, right? Her concern is Usby playing, because she said if Usby, I mean, it changes your whole game plan.
It does. I mean, Usby just does so many things for this ball club. You can't just focus on her scoring ability. It's her rebounding, her defense, her energy, her ball movement. And we haven't even spoke about Ava Hodgson and her ability to stretch the floor, knock down threes. And Courtney Banghart said, you know, Ava makes shots. She's a shot maker. And when other players see the ball go through the net, it gives them confidence.
Now look at her. Telling everybody what's what out there on the floor.
That's
Hodgson,
right.
yes, but averaging over 2 threes a game. Double-figure scorer who came over after starting things out at William and Mary. Quarter winding down, and a good finish of that quarter. And for the 5th straight quarter, Boston College scores in single digits.
Well, this is a heck of a bucket by Deja Kelly. She's a shot maker. Great job of recognizing end of quarter situation, and hits the floater.
Yourself. Pam Ward and Stephanie White joining you from Chapel Hill.
I mean, 4 for 5 from the floor, and BC as a team 3 for 12. It's incredible.
Boston College trying to get things going offensively, and North Carolina making it difficult for Gokdang to get the ball down low. A little bit of a hesitation, and that results in the double dribble for Todd-Williams. Boston College had as many turnovers as points in that first quarter, turned the ball over 8 times. And how about Destiny Adams? 4 steals all by herself in the first quarter for the Heels. That already equals a career high.
4 steals in 6 minutes.
That's good work. That's good work. Gokdang finally got a look inside, but couldn't get it to go. Now Deja Kelly scored the bucket to close out the first quarter. Carolina trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. And an offensive foul called on Todd-Williams.
It's her 2nd foul. I like the drive. Todd-Williams doing a good job of finding the gaps and just extend it out just a little bit. I mean, that was,
it's called an aggressive chicken wing.
You know, typically if you see that, it's like a full extension. Right. That was just trying to create some space.
The defense out on the perimeter. Gokdang working down low, couldn't get it to go.
I think you have to give Gokdang a touch now every time down the floor. Tiani Key is a different defender than Zelaya inside, so she can get deeper position.
And there we see Gokdang with the block, transition, and we have a player down on the floor. It's Ava McGee, the freshman from Washington, D.C. As the trainer Hannah Berg and Coach Mack come out to take a look. There's Coach Mack, who said that it was really McGee and Gokdang were the only 2 who really played well against Duke the other day. Taking her time getting up. screen and just ran in to Todd-Williams.
Yeah, a little shaken up, and she hit the floor. And right away, you could tell she was shaken up. She didn't even attempt to get up when it happened. And that's got to be a concern for Coach Mack. Already have a short bench.
Daley on the other end. That is the first free throw converted by either team this afternoon. Andrea, a sophomore from Miami, Florida. Got one out of two. Now McPherson, so fast. Brings it up, lays it off. The three-pointer no good by Paulina Paris, who is the only newcomer on this North Carolina team. Everybody back, and she's the true freshman. Kelly bottled up by VanTimmeren. Paris again, but a whistle. The three appears to have counted. Then there was a foul away from the ball on Lacey, which is her third. More concern for Boston College. Already with a very short bench. Lacey averaging 11 points per game. So she comes out. Gokdang, after a short rest, comes back in.
Well, there was a switch defensively, so Lacey was on key inside and really just trying to work to get defensive position. Fortunate for Carolina, they were able to get the score too, taking advantage of it with the 5-point play.
That's right, the basket counted, and then they got the inbounds into McPherson, who's got 12, half of their points. And another takeaway. It's the 5th steal, a new career high for Adams. Oh my, Kayla McPherson's feeling it.
She's fun to watch. She is so fun to watch. I mean, just a player who has a great understanding, who you can tell just loves to play the game.
Finally, a shot falls from the outside. That's Tiana Todd, a freshman from Toronto, the Toronto area, Vaughan, Ontario.
And that's where BC is going to have to get looks in transition. They're going to have to get it up the floor quickly, find ways to get some easy looks, open looks, because the Carolina pressure has been very good.
Pearson decided to pass that off. She's already tied her career high with 14 points this afternoon, matching her jersey number. Gokdang. Wow, that was a really good look, but couldn't get it to go. Gokdang usually money in there, hitting on almost 60% of her shots, but you're right, that interior defense has bothered her all afternoon. She's 0 for 4 from the floor.
Well, the activity level by the Tar Heels in their half-court defense has been really good. I know it's a challenge that Courtney Banghart gave this team. They have struggled defensively the last couple of games. They've got different players on the floor, so they can't really do as many different coverages as they probably would like. I mean, Courtney Banghart brought up a really good point about, you know, not everybody has the entire playbook, right? Your starting group typically does, but not everybody else. So they've got to really simplify what they do. But the energy level and the activity level on defense has been really good.
VanTimmeren just picked up her 3rd foul for Boston College. And another subsequent foul, this one on Gokdang. And that is her 2nd, so the foul's really piling up now for BC. That's the problem. Here's Destiny Adams. ACC Unity Week tips off on Saturday with an ACC men's basketball doubleheader. Pitt, who's on the correct side of the bubble, take on Virginia Tech at 5 Eastern. Clemson trying to get inside the bubble, score off against Louisville in the 2nd game. The stretch run coming down in both the ACC men's and women's side. Check that out on Saturday on the network and also on the ESPN app. This is the 3rd to the last weekend of the regular season for the women. Hard to believe. And boy, is there a logjam to try to get into the top 4 and get the double bye for the tournament. In and out on the shot by Mayer. But the possession kept alive momentarily before Daley committed a foul. her first.
Well, we've mentioned the injuries for Carolina, but Boston College missing their leading scorer, leading rebounder, and Dontavia Wagner, who also leads the ACC in steals. So a player who, as McPherson, continues to stay hot. A player in Wagner who is a difference maker on both ends for this ball club.
Dontavia Wagner, the NC State transfer, her second year at BC, and there she is in the boot. You never like to see that. And to her right, screen left for you, is Kayla Ivey. They miss her too. She tore her ACL in the summer. She was the starting point guard last year and would have been so key. Mare's a really good point guard, but a freshman point guard, to have Ivey there with her.
Yeah, no question. Not just for mentorship and leadership, but to give her a blow every once in a while. I mean, it's a long season for a freshman in this league. This is a tough league. And to play that hardest position on the floor in point guard, having some depth at that position would be key.
Daley picked up her second foul, and that's what Coach Mack talked to us about yesterday. She said, like 3 weeks ago, Mare came up here and said, "Coach, I feel great. I'm having so much fun." And then a couple days ago, she's like, "Man, I'm tired."
Right. Yes.
She hit that wall.
She did, and it is. It's a long season.
And that's a thing, right? I mean, because you look at I saw one of the players won a state title. They were 24-0 last year, just 24 games. And this is not just more games, but a lot more physical. Physical and mental, right?
Yeah, physical and mental, and you take into account, you know, that they're going to school at Boston College, right? So academically, what the load is, your practices are longer, the floor is longer, right? You're in the weight room much more often than probably in high school. So there's all these different layers added to these young players making this adjustment.
Another turnover. BC just cannot hang on to the ball. They're into double digits in turnovers with 12, and Kayla McPherson has been Boston College's worst nightmare.
She's just been terrific. Efficient, effective. You can see why Courtney Banghart is so excited to have her back on the floor.
Making her first career start and playing exceptionally well. Daley comes up with it. So we hit halfway through the second quarter. One of the few offensive rebounds for BC, but then the pass was literally right at the feet of Gokdang. 6'3" kids don't want to bend down to get passes.
That's a tough pass for her to handle.
Todd-Williams with Zelaya running the court. Good cut. Well, here she is. McPherson. Shot clock into single digits now. And a Todd-Williams shot. Daley able to come up with it for BC.
That was a heck of a block by Daley. Now, it was a perfect pass for Todd-Williams, right, but that was a heck of a defensive play.
Yeah, had she hit it, Daley maybe get the assist on that.
Right.
Gokdang finally gets her first field goal, her first points of the game, 16 minutes in. Averaging 11 points per game, behind only Wagner, who's out with the injury. Kelly slices on the baseline, collision, no call. Here's Mare, the freshman point guard, able to recover and score her first points, averaging 11 points per game. Freshman from Boston. Double-double against NC State, which was the first ranked team that BC has beaten since 2010. Kelly. Now with 7 on the afternoon.
She just does such a good job of getting to her spots on the floor. Has a great understanding of where those spots are and how to get there.
Gokdang wanting a armbar foul, didn't get it. 14th turnover. Carolina up big.
the NCAA tournament seeding, but also ACC tournament seeding. You don't want to have to play on that first day. So, working your way in position to not have to put yourself on that Wednesday ball game is important for everybody else.
It's really tough to win those games in the ACC tournament. North Carolina, by the way, has lost all of their first games in the Courtney Banghart era in the ACC tournament. They were a 4 seed last year, lost to Virginia Tech in overtime.
And they want that double bye.
Free throw off the mark for Todd-Williams. Coming off 14 points and the loss to Syracuse.
I think there's still so much room for growth for Kennedy Todd-Williams. Think about the player that she was when she came into this program, and every year, every summer has added something to her game, and I think she's still just scratching the surface, really on both ends of the floor.
And that's what you want to see, I would think, right, as a head coach. Just do something in the summer to make yourself more multidimensional.
Yes, without a doubt. The player development aspect of it is huge, and not just getting in the gym with your coaches, but on your own and really working on getting your game to the next level.
McPherson picked up her first foul. And Tiana Todd to the line. 90% free throw shooter. This is it. She's from Canada, but spent her senior year at the IMG Academy in Florida. North Carolina doubling up Boston College. So far in this game, 8th turnover for Carolina. Boston College with 14 turnovers, and that has turned into 16 points.
A team that averages 20 a game already with those 14. Missed opportunities in terms of numbers of possessions, missed opportunities at the free throw line as Kennedy Todd-Williams knocks down another 3. But we talk about this all the time in this league. If you're a team who's trying to make up some ground, your margin for error is so slim. So you have to take advantage of every chance you have to put the ball in the hole.
That's a nice look for Lacey, but it just wouldn't go down. The explosiveness of McPherson, but we're going to call a moving screen foul on Zelaya.
Now, we get the benefit of the replay, but I don't know. I don't know why that's a moving screen, because Gokdang is running down the floor. She sees Zelaya in front of her. It wasn't a blind screen. I don't agree with that call.
Neither does Courtney Banghart. Again, neuroscience degree from Dartmouth.
Yeah, she's pretty smart.
So she's smart. Yes, she is smart. But yeah, it wasn't a moving screen. It's like she just stopped. And McPherson showed again that explosiveness.
And there was time for Gokdang to see it, to change direction. So it wasn't a blind screen. I think that officials sometimes aren't used to seeing the back to the the back screen, or the butt screen sometimes, as you call it.
Daley now with 7. The butt screen.
The butt screen.
Yep.
It's a different angle. When it looks different, sometimes you infer that it's not correct.
Kelly just off the rim, and another whistle. Lots of calls this afternoon. Kayla Rizama, who was a freshman from Boston, in on that action. Foul on Todd. Joanna Burnamy-McNamee in her 5th year, along with Jeff Walls, an assistant on Maryland's 2006 national championship team. Contractually obligated to make that reference. Coming up every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, Nothing But Net comes your way to break down everything on the women's side on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Lexi Brown in there.
That was one of the most exciting national championships
Maryland beating Duke in overtime. Sorry, Gail Guest, of course.
The Christy Tolliver shot over the outstretched hand. Big time. The young Turk, the baby Turk.
The baby Turks. Remarkably enough, that was 17 years ago.
Look at him.
Shot clock is off. Let's see if Boston College can at least close the half. No, they can't. No, it's off the knee of North Carolina, so they do hang on to it.
Well, and it's a time and sport teaching moment right here
yeah.
for Coach Mack. If it is Boston College ball, and it's not, so you don't get that. So you don't get that. You made the right call, Pam.
Allie Carmen going to come in for the last several seconds to get Gokdang off the floor. Don't want her to pick up her third foul. Good move by Coach Mack. BC shooting just 29%. Do have 12 points, so they've broken the string of single-digit scoring quarters at 5 in a row. Kelly, she's going to shoot. Well, North Carolina up 17 at the half. Kayla McPherson with a terrific first half, scoring 16 points on 7 of 8 shooting. We're going to go to the studio. Drew Carter is there with, I would imagine, a very happy and giggly Arielada.
That kind of energy to start the ball game. It just elevates everyone else.
And again, North Carolina is playing without 3 starters in this game. Usby, Hodgson, and Poole all sidelined with injuries. And Boston College picks up where they left off by throwing the ball away. We'll take a look at the first half. Kayla McPherson with a career high. Her previous career high in a game was 14 points. Boston College with as many points as turnovers in the first quarter. And the turnovers really hurting BC. This is a team that is without its leading scorer, Dontavia Wagner, who is out with a stress reaction in her leg. McPherson missing from the corner. Someone's lost a shoe. It's Todd-Williams.
You mentioned Dontavia Wagner and just, the impact that she has on this team. She's their leading scorer, their leading rebounder, not just the team leader in steals, but the ACC leader in steals. She had 23 and 10 in their win at NC State. So she's a player that's a difference maker, and not just in terms of her production, but the confidence that she gives her teammates when she's on the floor. When you have a go-to playmaker, and no matter whether that play needs to be made offensively or defensively, she just elevates those around her because she's going to get it done.
Another transition bucket. That's Todd-Williams going coast to coast. And you go back to that point, January 5th and 8th, back-to-back wins at NC State and then beating Florida State. Those are 2 NCAA tournament teams.
And so this is a team in Boston College that's shown that it's capable. They're really young. Again, they lost over 70% of their offense. They lost their experience. No seniors, no grad transfers. Very young and inconsistent. And you couple that with injury and lack of depth, and it can go one way or the other. And unfortunately for the Eagles right now, it's going south. But they've got to find a way to string some plays together to get some confidence.
Yeah, something positive. There is a turnover. Mayer, good pursuit of the basketball, and the freshman puts it in for her second basket. Mayer missed 7 of her 8 shots in the first half. Gokdang, 5 of her 6 shots. They only combined for 4 points.
And those are the 2 double-digit scores that you have that are able to play. And they've got to find ways to get themselves more involved and knock down some shots for this ball club.
Todd-Williams right into the paint. Had it rim out. A couple of Tar Heels on the floor. There's a held ball. And the possession arrow keeps it on this side of the floor. Quick substitution for Coach Mack for Boston College as Todd goes out and Daley comes in. Interesting, Boston College didn't come out of their locker room until there was just over a minute left to go on the clock, and they didn't take any shots to warm up for the second half. So a big message in the locker room, we can assume.
I would anticipate, and you know, Coach Mack talked to us about how disappointed she was and they were as Elia hits a three in their effort and execution against Duke. And it hasn't been a whole lot better here today. So certainly challenging this team to respond and to try to find some sort of rhythm and attention to detail to the game plan.
Answering with another three, Todd-Williams buries it. She's into double digits, and the lead is ballooned to 21.
Kennedy Todd-Williams was a 28% three-point field goal shooter a year.
See Notre Dame, Virginia Tech also in there, and the NCAA committee takes into consideration injuries. Right now, North Carolina with 3 starters out, and Coach Banghart says that she has been assured she's going to get everybody back before the season is over. It looks like Usby's going to come back sooner than Eva Hodgson, which is good news. And there's Eva, or not Eva, that's Alyssa Usby, who really does everything. Eva there over on the right, and I mean, Usby does so many things so well for this team.
She is definitely the ultimate utility player who does so many things. As Todd-Williams gets out in transition with the and 1. And Hodgson, a shot maker and a ball mover, you know, for this ball club.
Hodgson, their best 3-point threat.
I mean, the story of the day has been the Tar Heels in transition. Great take, strong finish, good body control by Kennedy Todd-Williams. And we talk about Kennedy Todd-Williams and, you know, her work in the offseason on her shot, her three-point shot. She's always been someone who can get to the rim. Learning to find the balance of when to do what has been important, but again, a player whose ceiling is just so high.
And so far, this has been the third quarter. It's belonged to Kennedy Todd-Williams, up to 14 points, 8 of them in this quarter. Outscoring BC by herself, 8-4. Shot clock dying. The three-point shot off the mark for Daley. North Carolina, even after doubling up, BC continues to push pace. Off-balance shot, and it falls for Todd. Her first basket of the second half. And behind the play, McPherson is shaken up. Kayla McPherson, 16 points, 6 rebounds. Brody Schneider, the athletic trainer for Carolina, going to take a look. Paulina Paris, the freshman, back in the game. Now with steps, Steph White called it correctly. You got it even before the officials. That's the 12th turnover now for North Carolina. McPherson, the back of her neck. Nice cut into the lane, and the floater for Todd. Back-to-back shots for the youngster from Ontario. Gets the lead to 20.
So the last few possessions, BC's been able to get 2 feet in the paint and knock down some shots. And again, Coach Mack telling us she wants to get back to pushing in transition, but she got to get some stops.
Deja Kelly into double digits with that 3. We are midway through the third quarter. VanTimmeren just ticked off the front of the rim. More bodies hit the floor. We will take a timeout with North Carolina up 51-28. Cream as ACC breakdown. He has 8 teams in. Syracuse is a bubble team. And you see North Carolina right now at 4. You want to be in that position to be able to host. And NC State, my goodness, Stephanie White, they are losing by double digits right now at Virginia, so they might be dropping soon.
Yeah, NC State, a team that's really trying to find their way, have been inconsistent, and certainly some time left against Virginia, but if they lose this ball game, they're going to continue to fall in the brackets.
And coming up, boy, look at this slate as we get you ready for the Super Bowl tonight. Florida State, Virginia Tech follow us. That Miami-Duke game is huge. Syracuse, if they beat Notre Dame, Charlie says they move into the field.
Absolutely, and Miami, a chance to improve their seeding. Every game at this point in the year matters when you think about seeding for conference tournaments and opportunities for buys and double buys and seeding for the NCAA tournament.
Paulina Paris with her second 3 of the game. Boston College on the wrong end of a 6-0 run here in the third quarter. They have lost 8 of their last 9 ball games, including 2 in a row to Syracuse, or 3 in a row, pardon me, to Notre Dame, Syracuse, and Duke. Boys, just a gauntlet in the ACC. Adams was just called for her second foul for the Heels.
And following this, they go on the road to Pitt, a Pitt team that had Notre Dame right there, and is continuing to fight for wins as well, and certainly doesn't get any easier in this league.
Mayer lost the handle. Deja Kelly, Todd-Williams, and that's a hard foul. A couple of quick ones on Adams now, who has just picked up her 3rd personal foul. Seen some amazing fans across the ACC, and now we need your help. This winter, ACC Network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. Snap a picture, take a video, tag it with hashtag AllTheDevotion, post it to your social, and you just might see it on the ACC Network. I left out the last ACC Network.
We could assume that, right?
That is the ACC Network is the ACC.
It is. It is all things ACC.
It was inferred.
Oh, nice fade.
VanTimmeren. A little bit of a funky shot for the lefty. That one was off the mark. And now another BC player is shaken up. Basket counts for Daley. Uzama, the freshman from Boston, checking her mouth. Paying attention to her nose. Let's take a look. Number 14 in pink.
Can't really tell. She kind of got sandwiched in there, right?
Back there. It's been a physical game. Kelly, nice crossover. McPherson, are you kidding me? Did everything but finish on that shot. She's got a big smile. And then the offensive foul sends it back. Todd picked it up, but my goodness, McPherson just showed us some stuff.
Yes, she certainly did. With her ability to change directions, to slip through defenders. But you gotta finish it, right? And Lindon used to have this saying, $1 million move, 10-cent finish. Those are the ones you gotta get. It's a heck of a move, though.
Yeah, that would have been a top 10 worthy highlight had she hit it. Kelly picks it up. Kayla McPherson getting her first career start today and making a lot of noise for the redshirt freshman. Coming back from an injury, shot clock dwindling. Deja Kelly time. McPherson, short. Rebound bounced around and eventually taken in by Todd, one of two true freshmen who have been starting for Coach Mack. Drawing foul. Coach Burnaby McNamee, she's a tough kid. She's from Weirton, West Virginia. She talks about one of the things that made her so unhappy was the team wasn't showing the grit. And usually when you look at a Coach Mack team, they're going to be like her. They're going to be fighting, they're going to be clawing, and had not been happy with that, particularly in their last game against Duke, but saw some of it in practice, but also mentioned to us that sometimes the practice team she sees doesn't turn out to be the game team she sees. And I think maybe we're seeing that today.
That sometimes is a tendency of a young team. The transitioning from practice to the pressure of a real game moment can be difficult at times, particularly when you've hit a slump and you're not feeling confident. But she flat out said it. You know, we've been soft. We haven't been as tough as we want to be. Not the identity of the teams that we want. And you know, it is a gauntlet of a league to go through this learning curve.
McPherson, another rim out, ball chased down by Shitenge. Now here's Mayer. Paris down there, Mayer had it taken away. Nope, a foul on Paris, who thought she got all ball. First one on Paulina.
Taina Mayer is so good in transition, and boy, it sure looked like Paris got an awful lot of ball. You see it from this angle. Oh yeah, she came across her arm. We were fortunate to get all of those angles in the replay.
And Mayer back at the free throw line.
Taina Mayer's going to be a really good player in this league. You know, she's. Even Coach Mack said it's kind of unfair to her to be in this position where you have to play 40 minutes as a young point guard in this league. She has a high assist ratio, but she also has a high turnover number as well. And that's just part of the learning curve for her, understanding how to take care of the ball, what kinds of decisions, and when to make them.
And Kayla Ivey, who was the starting point guard, tore her ACL in the preseason, so she has been out. So it's all Taina Mayer, and there's Ivy. That's got to be so hard. Wagner, their leading scorer and rebounder, also out with the injury. And Mayer, very promising freshman point guard. And there's some of that promise, nailing the three. Their best three-point shooter percentage-wise, and all of a sudden it's a 9-0 BC run. McPherson has had 3 in a row, just not find the bottom of the net.
Missed opportunity right there. Diana Todd, just eyes are not up when she's bringing it down in transition. Had a teammate in front of her.
Deja Kelly. Over to Paris. North Carolina. BC tied them 17 all in scoring in that period, but Carolina still up large at home. Sure, I flew down, went through Philly to get here today. A lot of Eagles jerseys on that flight.
I'll bet there were. I'll bet there were. Who you got in this?
I'll be on a plane. I don't know. I think Kansas City's going to win, but I literally don't care. Do you have a skin in the game? Any?
Yeah, I kind of have a skin in the game.
Okay.
I got to root for the Eagles, so.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you, though.
That's fine.
There's another game that's on before that is, in our world, equally as important with this LSU South Carolina.
Oh, yeah, that's happening.
Unbeatens. I am really looking forward to that game.
Yeah, LSU finally will get tested. Their out-of-conference schedule was ridiculous in a bad way.
Sold-out crowd. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And that is coming up later today. So many good women's college basketball games before you sit down and watch the I mean, people are going to watch the Super Bowl. Let's not pretend they're not. And here it is, the only two remaining unbeaten teams in D1 coming up at the top of the hour on ESPN. 5 national championships between the 2 head coaches.
Listen, legendary coaches, but legendary point guards right there in Kim Mulkey and
point guards
Staley,
make the best
two of
coaches,
the best
right?
To have ever played the game, no question about it.
Yep.
And then we have their stars in Angel Reese and Aaliyah Boston, 2 of our Player of the Year candidates, along with Caitlin Clark at Iowa.
Angel Reese averaging a double-double, the transfer from Maryland. Zama just picked up a foul for Boston College. Paris. Shot clock. McPherson. Nothing to it. Kayla McPherson's first career start, crushing her previous career high of 14 points. This is just her 5th game. Remember, coming back, had a knee injury coming out of high school, and then an injury on the other leg that kept her out of the first 20 games. She's been great.
She's been terrific. And again, her production is one thing, but just watch her energy. I mean, that's something you can't teach, and that energy gives a team a lift. And whether you have that coming off the bench, giving your team a lift, or in the starting lineup, it's infectious and it's important, particularly from your point guard.
Todd-Williams with the miss. Good aggressive rebound by Adams, and then Gokdeng with the block. Kayla McPherson putting up quite a line this afternoon. All career highs, and she had the career highs in points and rebounds before the half even ended.
And we're going to continue to see her, I think, in multiple opportunities in the rest of the season, surpass those career highs. You can just see her getting more comfortable in her movement. And again, it's a long time for timing, for chemistry, for rhythm.
Another nice move without a finish, though, for McPherson. Ball coming over to Boston College. That's a long time not to play a basketball game for Kayla McPherson. The red shirt last year, missed the first 20 games this season. McDonald's All-American. A lot of things expected for her, or of her, as she came into this league. Destiny Adams just picked up her 4th foul for Carolina. Well, Gokdeng has been absolutely smothered by the Tar Heels all day. Gokdeng, just 2 points. She's missed 7 of her 8 shots. And this is a player that Coach Mack was saying really they wanted to play inside out with her, wanted her to be more aggressive offensively, had seen that in practice the last few days, but nothing doing today.
You've got to give the Carolina defense a lot of credit for that. Early in the ball game, Alexandra Zelaya did a really good job of keeping her off the block. She had no space to operate. And each sub that has come in has continued to make life difficult for her.
McPherson with another miss, rebound, and here's Mayer. Too high for VanTimmeren, and saved in nicely by Adams. Here's McPherson again in the open court. Paris for 3, knocked it down. That is her 3rd 3 of the game. Carolina firing on all cylinders. Timeout taken by Boston College. North Carolina down 3 starters. It matters not. Good one.
Yes. Happy birthday, young man.
And happy birthday to Cash.
Happy birthday, Cash. Yes.
Your 1-year-old rescue dog.
1-year-old, yes.
Making a cake for him.
I don't know about making a cake, but you know, he'll have a sweet treat.
There will be cake in the house. For cash. And for that young man, not just to win, but right now fixing to have a big win.
Absolutely. A dominant performance.
North Carolina looking for its 18th win of the year, pardon me, and would snap a 2-game losing skid. McPherson going out of bounds. How long has it been? Well, so this is her 20, she missed the first 20 games of the year with an injury.
Pam, she tweeted out that it was 808 days between the last time that she played and the first game that she played this season. 808 days.
And that first game was January 29th against Clemson. She's got 22 points tonight, and the hits just keep on coming for North Carolina.
But you think about that and how long that is to come back and to get your rhythm and timing. Anybody who's come back from injury knows that there are often times where your mind wants to do things where your body can't quite do it yet. It takes a little while to get back, not into just game shape, but game rhythm, timing, feeling comfortable on the floor, feeling comfortable with the ball in your hands and your movements again. And how quickly she's been able to get back to moving the way that she moves is really incredible.
There she is, Kayla McPherson, coming off a couple of leg injuries. And the first career start, a memorable one, and then she gets a conversation in with the official as well. And again, this is a team missing 3 starters. Usby, Hodgson, Poole, all out with various injuries. And they are just rolling Boston College. A BC team that could only score 27 points against Duke in their last game. Just a disheartening couple of games for BC. Todd now with a dozen points. She just had the recent trip to the free throw line. The schedule will get a little bit more manageable. 3 more games left in the regular season for BC. But it's got to be tough to try to figure out how to right this ship after a couple of really disappointing back-to-back games.
Yeah, and particularly with a young team, how quickly you can change gears, and you think about after that Duke game, do you flush it? Do you watch the film? Do you go over everything that that you didn't do offensively as Lacey knocks down the 3? Coach Mack talked about, I felt like our defense was good enough. We were just so poor offensively, and unfortunately that's carried over here tonight.
In that game against Duke, they shot 18% from the floor, but Duke is just a phenomenal defensive team. But just 34% this afternoon against Carolina. Buckdang has been kept in check. Shot from the outside, bottom of the net for Lacey. Back-to-back 3, she's got 3 of them on the day. JoJo just a junior, and that's the bright spot, and Coach Mack says she's optimistic about the future of this team. There's a foul on Daley. Everybody, she doesn't have any seniors. Lots of eligibility left with all of these players. Gonna get Wagner back, she hopes, from injury relatively soon. Mayer back in the game. One of the promising youngsters, the true freshman point guard. One thing she likes about Mayer, right, is she loves to play defense. You don't see that a lot, period, much less in true freshmen.
Yeah, she talked about her defensive energy, offensively, her high IQ, her toughness. Has the potential to be a really good point guard in this league for a long time. And interesting lineup for Carolina right now. I like it. They're going big. Kenny Todd-Williams running the point guard. Got Destiny Adams playing on the perimeter. It does give Courtney Banghart an opportunity to play with different lineups.
And Timmeren gets one to fall from the outside. And that's something that this big lead, right? You get that luxury where you can kind of play around with your lineups a little bit.
Yeah, and you certainly want to make sure that you're trying to give players a blow when you can, because it does wear when you don't have the depth. You've got players who are not used to playing a lot of minutes who are having to do that. And you got to try to find ways to manage that as well. Kennedy, Todd-Williams, and Deja Kelly are used to playing heavy minutes. Everybody else, not so much.
Right, especially with the 3 starters out, having to mix and match her lineups. VanTimmeren finishing on the closeout on the other end. Gakdeng tried to draw a charge, and she did just that. Now on Key. It's a 13-0 Boston College run, only down 15. As you take a look at the charge, North Carolina has led by as many as 28. As we hit 3 minutes to go at Carmichael. Rebound by Key. She missed all of last year herself with an ACL. Deja Kelly missing, Key fouled. Deja Kelly today with 10 points, kind of a quiet 10, but boy, McPherson picking up the slack with 22, Todd-Williams with 16. Zama just picked up the foul, and now Tiani, who is from nearby Cary, North Carolina.
Tiani Key, the sister of Tamari Key of Tennessee, who again want to continue to think about her and keep her in our thoughts and prayers, and sitting out the rest of the season because of blood clots.
Tiani was a McDonald's All-American, really good high jumper in high school in Cary, about a half hour from here. That's forced inside, but a whistle before the ball even got in there. Gakdeng was fouled by Zelaya, who got her first career start today. A junior from Goodyear, Arizona, a long way from home. And now Gakdeng to the free throw line, and Maria played well in that loss to Duke. 11 points, 5 of 9 from the floor. The rest of the team shot just 13%. But Gakdeng, this is a very frustrating day for her. Just 1 field goal on 8 shots.
And she's a player who shoots at 58% from the floor, so used to being really efficient. And again, you've got to give credit to Carolina, the interior defense, keeping her uncomfortable. You could tell it was a point of emphasis in the scout.
North Carolina, big game coming up Thursday night at NC State. We will be there in Raleigh on the ACC network on Thursday. Good follow for Key. And right now, Virginia is up 10 over NC State midway through the 4th quarter. Gosh, so much going on in the ACC this season. The ACC tournament coming up in Greensboro is going to be amazing.
It's going to be so much fun. We're going to be there. We'll have the action.
Coming up the very first day of March from Greensboro. Right now, Duke in first place with 2 losses. Notre Dame right behind them with 3. Some big games again coming up later on this afternoon. The ACC network, Florida State at Virginia Tech right after us at the top of the hour. That's huge. Count it. Deja Kelly still working hard. Her team up big. Kelly coming off a career-high 32 at Syracuse. Hodgson and Utsby applauding this effort.
It's just a strong take by Kelly. Does a great job of getting by the first defender, secondary defenders late. Gets that and one opportunity. And, oh, can't convert it. But you know, Pam, we got Ivory Latta back in the studio, and when I look at Kayla McPherson and I think about her energy, I think about her toughness, I think about Ivory Latta and what Ivory Latta was for the teams here that she played for at Carolina. And McPherson has that same kind of, not just skill set, but energy. And there's Ivory Latta up in the, and Nikki Teasley, one of the all-time great point guards as well.
Camille Little, a lot of great players coming through here. Carolina winning the national championship in 1994, that thrilling shot by Charlotte Smith to beat Louisiana Tech. Coach Sylvia Hatchell, who was the predecessor of Coach Banghart.
I was at that Final Four as well.
Richmond.
Saw that shot in Richmond, yes.
I was there as well on a field trip. Well, McPherson just can't wait to see her career continue to blossom.
Ah, it was too late. It was there, but it was there about 2 seconds earlier.
All about timing, right?
It sure is.
All right, so your Boston College team, Steph, as we hit a minute to go, you're coming off BC and this. You're going to Pitt, which is no longer a gimme game. How do you keep going down the stretch?
Well, I think you really got to challenge your team's competitiveness. You know, talk about what you continue to get better at, certainly, but that there have been flashes of being a really good ball club, and confidence and preparation and execution are all part of that. And right now you're playing for pride. You're playing to get back into some sort of confident mindset.
Getting Dontavia Wagner back certainly would help that.
Yes, it would. You're absolutely right. And we probably haven't spoken enough about that here today and the impact that she makes on this team.
Affecting both ends of the floor. Their leading scorer, rebounder, gets to the line a lot. VanTimmeren's had a good fourth quarter.
And again, you just can't underestimate the confidence lift she gives everybody else around her. But Carolina has been dominant from start to finish. And this is the response and the bounce back you want if you're Courtney Banghart.
So Kayla McPherson with the career day in points, field goals, rebounds, and threes. 6 new career highs for 3 different players on this team. They take it 73-55.
Just a terrific effort, execution on both ends. Losing 3 starters to injury, it doesn't matter. Everybody else steps up.
Yeah,